It was the whisper of a lie, not a sudden shout, that shattered my world. A slow, hidden poison carefully dropped into my daily life. It was made to keep me trapped in a golden cage. While I strongly wanted a family, I was told I couldn't have. One minute, I was a hopeful wife, building what I thought was my forever, dreaming of the sound of tiny feet. The next, a chilling secret told by an unexpected hand ripped away the idea of our perfect life. It wasn't just cheating. It was a multi-layered betrayal, a planned breaking apart of my future, my body, my very mind. The man I loved, the boy I tried to mother, and the ghost of an ex-wife all played their parts in a twisted script I never knew I was starring in. But when the truth hit, it didn't just hurt. It started a fire so fierce it burned away the trickery, showing not just their cheating, but the very strong power I never knew I had. This wasn't just my story of heartbreak. It was my war cry, my taking back of what was mine. Part 1. You think you're building a dream brick by loving brick, until you realize those bricks are actually trapping you inside a carefully built illusion. I remember the excitement, the innocent, blinding joy of my wedding day, my first marriage. Daniel, a charming tour guide with a sparkle in his eye and a past I believed was neatly put away, was my second chance at everything I'd ever wanted. He already had Leo, his 15-year-old son from his previous marriage, and I welcomed the role of stepmother with open arms. Our life on the surface was a picture of perfect happiness in a busy city. He ran his growing tour company, and I, with my sharp business mind, had helped him grow its good name, quietly helping his success while taking care of our beautiful home. All I wanted was a family, a complete one, to fill the quiet spaces of my heart, and a baby. More than anything, I longed to hold my own child in my arms. Years passed. Doctor's appointments blurred into a never-ending cycle of hope and crushing disappointment. Every test came back clear. My health was fine, Daniel's health was fine, yet nothing. Month after month, year after year, no pregnancy. My heart ached with an emptiness I couldn't fill. Daniel, always so calming, would pull me close, whisper into my hair, "Leo is our gift, Olivia. We have each other. That's enough." His words were comforting, but a strange, unsettling part of me always felt a ghost of cold. Was it enough? Was I really okay with this ongoing, unexplained inability to have children? He was so caring. He managed all my appointments, handled the prescriptions, insisted on fetching my daily vitamins and supplements himself. "Just trying to make your life easier, love," he'd say, pressing a kiss to my forehead. I never questioned it. Why would I? He was my husband, my partner, the man who seemed to want nothing more than my happiness. He'd even help me with my finances, managing my accounts, saying I should focus on the home. Slowly, without being seen, the lines between my life and his blurred, then vanished completely. I was a part of him, or so I thought. I didn't know then that the very foundation of my dreams was being slowly taken apart. One tiny, harmful pill at a time, hidden within the harmless-looking vitamin bottle. The chilling irony was the more I wanted a baby, the further I drifted from my own body, blind to the silent, unseen war being fought within me. Part 2. When the walls of your life feel like they're closing in, sometimes it's not just a feeling. Sometimes someone is actively tightening the screws. The control tightened, without being seen at first, and then with an almost suffocating grip. Daniel became the keeper of my world. My doctor's appointments, he'd schedule them, go with me, even handle all talks with the specialists. My medication, only from his hand. My finances, leave it to me, sweetheart. You focus on our home. My old friends, he'd gently discourage meetups or forget to tell me about invitations. They don't understand our life, Olivia. We're a team. It was a slow, hidden separation, wrapped in the soft cloth of care and love. I was becoming a perfectly shaped small tree, cut and formed to fit his idea, unaware that my roots were being cut. And then there was Leo, my stepson. At first I'd poured my heart into building a connection with him, trying to be the loving, supportive figure he needed. But Leo had his own plan, a subtle, tricky game. He'd create reasons, complex situations that conveniently sent me out of the house. "Mom, can you pick up my science project from school?" I forgot it. Or, "Olivia, Aunt Carol needs help with something. Could you run over?" I'd rush out eager to help, believing I was helping our family. It was only later, much later, that I began to connect the dots. A quick look at a photo on a phone left alone. A quiet talk ending suddenly when I entered the room. The subtle, almost unseen change in Daniel and Leo's behavior after I'd been sent away for one of Leo's fake errands. I started noticing things on social media, vague secret posts from Daniel's ex-wife, sometimes tagged with places that strangely matched times I'd been sent away. "Family time is the best time," one caption read, with a photo carefully cut but hinting at more than just her and Leo. A cold dread began to spread into my bones. The perfect little outings, the innocent errands, were they simply complex moves to remove me? To clear the stage for a reunion I wasn't meant to see? The thought was a sickening twist in my gut, turning my beautiful home into a theater of hidden truths, and me, the unknowing pawn. The pieces were beginning to fall into place, not gently, but with a horrifying, crushing certainty. The next step I knew had to be mine, and it had to be secret. Part 3. There's a moment when the truth you've been carefully hidden from finally breaks through, and it's not a gentle awakening, but a violent explosion. The chill I felt in my bones became a strong decision. I created a secret X, formerly Twitter account, a digital ghost to watch, and there it was. Leo's account, the one he'd claimed was just for school, was suddenly uncensored for me. He had blocked me from his main feed, a feed full of photos of him, Daniel, and his mother, Daniel's ex-wife, on what looked disturbingly like family outings. There were dates, locations, little inside jokes, all while I was being sent out of the house on fake errands. The betrayal wasn't just from Daniel. It was a plan involving my stepson, the boy I'd loved and tried to care for. They were mocking me openly, celebrating their family behind my back. The anger was a hot, burning fire, burning away every last bit of my innocent trust. Then the true explosion. My phone rang, an unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Olivia, a woman's voice, unsure then firm. "My name is Jessica. I'm one of Daniel's mistresses, and I'm pregnant. He owes me money for an abortion, and he's ignoring me. You need to know the truth about your husband." My hand trembled, the phone almost slipping from my grasp. Mistress pregnant, the words hit me like a physical blow, but then a cold, sharp calm came down. "Tell me everything," I whispered, and she did. She didn't just show his cheating, she showed the horrifying depth of his lies. Daniel, the loving husband, had many women on the side, each one a different false front for his lies. "He calls you useless, you know. Says you're just a pretty face good for decorating the house. Says you're just a front for his business makes him look stable." My stomach twisted. He used me. Every sacrifice, every bit of effort I poured into our life was just a planned move in his twisted game. And then, the big shocking news that connected everything, explaining the years of unexplained inability to have children. He brags about it. Says he's giving you some kind of hormone blocker, mixing it into your vitamins so you won't get pregnant. Says you'd mess up his perfect family with Leo. The air left my lungs. The world spun. Hormone blocker. My body, my dreams, my deepest wishes. Systematically ruined by the man I swore to love. My inability to have children wasn't a cruel twist of fate. It was a planned act of meanness. He hadn't just cheated. He had stolen my future, my choice, my very self as a woman. And then came the final crushing blow. He's been stealing money from the company too, Olivia, using it to pay for his lifestyle, his other women. He's been bragging about how easy it is to get away with since you're so trusting with the books. The man I had helped build a business was destroying it from the inside out, using me as his unknowing partner in crime. The betrayal was complete in many ways, and completely devastating. The fury that ignited within me was unlike anything I had ever known. This wasn't just pain, it was a powerful right fire demanding justice. They were about to learn that the useless wife they so underestimated was about to start a storm. Part 4. When you've been stripped of everything, the only thing left to lose is fear itself, and then the true battle begins. The rage was a cold, pure fuel. It didn't use me up. It made me sharper. Daniel and Leo, not knowing the volcano about to burst, continued their fake show. Another emergency, another family crisis designed to get me out of the house. "Mom, I need to go to Grandma's for the weekend. She's not feeling well." Daniel with a fake sigh. "You know how Leo gets, Olivia. Best if you just give him space." They expected me to dutifully pack my bags, disappear, and give them the stage for their next show of happy families. But this time I didn't pack a bag for myself. This time I called my lawyer. I gathered every piece of proof. the detailed records from the private investigator I'd secretly hired months ago. The damaging messages from Jessica, his mistress, the secret X account full of Leo's bragging posts about his real family. The medical records carefully looked at by a new independent doctor who confirmed the presence of a strong fertility blocker in my system. And the financial records, which I'd secretly copied weeks ago, showing the clear stealing of money. The company funds secretly moved to who knows where, the day they expected me to leave, the day they planned their next family reunion. I walked into our perfectly neat living room, not with a suitcase, but with a legal team. My lawyer stood beside me, quiet but powerful. Daniel and Leo stared, their faces a mix of confusion and growing horror. "Surprise," I said, my voice steady, dangerously calm. "I'm not going anywhere, but you are." I watched Daniel's jaw drop, his eyes widening in disbelief. Leo, usually so tricky, looked like a deer caught in headlights. "Olivia, what is this?" Daniel stammered, his usual charm replaced by pure panic. "This," I said, pointing to the stack of files in my lawyer's hands, "is the truth, all of it. The hormone blockers you've been secretly putting in my vitamins, the stealing of money from your company, the many mistresses paid for by stolen money, the little fake show you and Leo have been running to get me out of the house so you could play happy families with your ex. Every single lie, every single trick, every single betrayal." I watched as the color left Daniel's face. Leo started to cry, not tears of sorrow, but of pure shock and fear. The air in the room cracked with the weight of broken illusions. This wasn't just a face-off. It was an ending, a precise, devastating revealing of every dark secret, every twisted truth. The perfect cage, the beautiful illusion was not just broken, it was destroyed. And I, the woman they thought they could control, was holding the hammer. As Daniel fell apart before me, his carefully built world collapsing, I felt not a bit of sorrow, but a quiet, powerful freedom. This was just the beginning of my judgment day. Part 5. Sometimes the greatest victory isn't about winning a battle, but about gracefully walking away from the war, fully healed and wonderfully reborn. The time after was harsh but clean. I filed for divorce right away. With the huge amount of proof, my lawyer moved fast. Daniel's money tricks were clear. His company, once a symbol of his supposed success, fell under the weight of stealing money investigations. He was left with nothing, only his lies and a broken reputation. Leo, caught in the middle of his father's lies, got worse. His carefully built world made of tricks and hidden truths broke apart. The ex-wife who had enjoyed their secret reunions suddenly found herself without a stage, without a reason to interfere. The mistress Jessica confirmed what I already knew. The baby wasn't Daniel's. Another layer of lies, another tangled web untangled. I took the house. Not because I wanted it, but because it was mine by right, and a symbol of his final defeat. I sold it quickly and without looking back. That house, once a dream, was now spoiled, a monument to a beautiful cage. I needed a fresh start, a clean page, a world not burdened by his shadows. I moved to a new city, one where every street corner didn't whisper of his lies. It was a leap of faith, a scary and exciting jump into the unknown. I focused on getting better, on finding the woman I was before Daniel's hidden control. I poured myself into my old passions, met old friends again, and slowly, gently began to rebuild my life, piece by real piece. And then when I least expected it, I met Ethan. He wasn't a whirlwind of charm like Daniel, no grand statements. He was kind, steady, truly saw me, and loved me for who I was, scars and all. He was the safe place I never knew I strongly needed, and after years of fighting the effects of the hormone blockers, after careful treatment and strong hope, my body began to heal, and then the impossible happened. A positive test, my first child, my precious miracle started in love, not deceit. Daniel is a ghost now, a warning story. Leo is struggling, learning the hard way about the results of lies. Their choices left them alone, lost. But for me, life grew. I hold my child, feel their warmth against my chest, and a deep sense of peace washes over me. The cage was beautiful, yes, but it was still a cage, and breaking free fighting for my truth was the bravest, most beautiful thing I ever did. Because sometimes the family you thought you needed isn't the one that's meant for you. Sometimes you have to burn down the fake home to build a real one brick of truth at a time. And that, my friends, is a masterpiece. Hey everyone, it's Olivia, and thank you for being here with me tonight, listening to my story on Lamo English. This journey, it's been a winding road full of pain and eventual triumph. For so long, I thought my life was defined by the lies I was told, by the cage I was in. But standing here today, I know that breaking free, even when it feels impossible, is the bravest thing you can do for yourself. What was your enough is enough moment? What was the moment that made you realize you had to walk away to find your own strength? Share your stories in the comments below. Let's create a space where we can all reflect, heal, and empower each other. Subscribe to Lamo English for more inspiring stories. Your support helps us bring more valuable content to you.